had the Secretary of Defense nominee, Pete Hegseth, the Fox News commentator as well, because this is someone who, weekend host, important distinction. This is someone who, is known to be a white supremacist, known to be an extremist.
Because let's remember, like when we're talking about the secretary here and Hegseth and his white supremacist and extremist tattoos on his body, he is also a person, if he is in this job, who will be having the discussion with Donald Trump about sending the military into communities.
And then the people they put in charge of the Pentagon carried it out. And it was all pretty much a disaster. So now we have a new president who I think got elected in part because of some of those disasters. And he's going to put in some of the non-insiders in charge of not just this agency, but a bunch of them. Now, look, they've got to perform. They've got to perform. I mean, we got 53 U.S. senators that are Republicans. And Pete Hegseth, he's an American hero. The man won 2 Bronze Stars for his service, and he's been a champion for veterans.
All right, let me tell you guys about Tatum Store. We got a crazy sale going on. I do want you guys to get the other products as well. People are buying this stuff right now. I think this maybe I vote for the felon is one of those sales. 80% off, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to do this until we run out of all these products. And some of them are already gone. So I'm sorry. I told you guys earlier, you don't watch my YouTube enough. So vote right, vote for Trump. All of these are some of our favorite designs. Voted for the felon. All these are 80% off. The craziest sale I've ever had on Tatum Store. 80% off. This is great for Christmas. This is great to give a friend. Get on there. Get it now before it completely sells out. And once it's gone, it's gone. Let's talk about Pete Hegseth real quick. And then we're going to go to the black mayor of Chicago, who's a complete idiot, Brandon Johnson. After Lori Dirtyfoot, they picked another idiot that's even dumber than she is. But let's talk about Pete Hegseth, because this woman right here, the devil of the melanin is what I call them, the devil ones, the evil ones. This woman should get sued by Pete. And I think that there's talks that he will sue her, allegedly. There's 2 black women we have evidence of that's doing that. This is insanely racist, unfounded, and this is defamatory. I don't know how a lawyer can't get on immediately and file charges, or not charges, but at least a lawsuit against her for defaming Pete's character. There is no evidence, not circumstantial, not legitimate evidence. There's no compilation of evidence that would suggest that Pete is a white supremacist. There is no substance whatsoever. And it's defamatory to the man's character. He honorably served in the military, and he was selected by a legitimized president. Listen to these ignorant people of the melanin. One of the people that voted for Democrats at 80-something%. Roll the clip.
The Secretary of Defense nominee, Pete Hegseth, the Fox News commentator as well, because this is someone who, weekend host, important distinction. This is someone who, is known to be a white supremacist, known to be an extremist, whose platform, whose book is basically about his opposition to the advancement of black officers to the top brass.
Y'all hear what she said, right? I want y'all to hold that in the memory bank. She said his book is opposition of black men going up the ranks. Saying that you don't believe in race promotions and it should be merit-based is not you hating the advances of black people in the military. You're not a white supremacist because you believe Martin Luther King's dream. Martin Luther King said it. How do you become a white supremacist if you agree with Martin Luther King? Martin Luther King said he had a dream, and we all know what his dream was. That one day you're going to be judged by the content of your character, not the color of your skin. Martin Luther King said it. That's the darling of the left. And if a black man believes what a white man believes what Martin Luther King said, somehow to the left, he's a white supremacist. That's insane to me. Do we got another clip? Well, let's play the other clip here. And then we got Scott Jennings defending, rightfully so, defending Pete's character. Wrote a clip. And who knows if she really black? They just be throwing people up here. People be mixed with all kind of stuff, and they black. They black. When did black people accept this? She ain't no different than Rachel Dolezal. Wrote a clip.
Donald Trump is actually saying that a power explicitly given the U.S. Senate to confirm or refuse to confirm these nominees, he wants to bypass. That's an explicit power the Constitution reserves to the Senate. So to Bill's point, this is the first test of whether this, of how the Senate, including Senate Republicans, decide what side they're on, whether they're on the side of the Constitution of the people or whether they're on Donald Trump's personal side. And, we should also say one of the things that's so important in this function, in this role, is the people of this country should have some understanding of who's going to be making decisions about their daily lives. Because let's remember, like when we're talking about the secretary here and Hegseth and his white supremacist and extremist tattoos on his body, he is also a person, if he is in this job, who will be having the discussion with Donald Trump about sending the military into communities to police U.S. citizens. This is something that Donald Trump has said explicitly. It's a power he has wanted to use. It's one of the warnings we heard from the Joint Chiefs in his administration when he was president before, and it's in Project 2025. And so it's not just that position, it's also health and its implications for people's daily lives. But the United States of America is based on some transparency and accountability and checks and balances. And if we throw them out of the window, to Bill's point, it's not only that it offends the Constitution, but we will feel that pain, that danger, and that lack of protection in our daily lives.
I can't stomach these people at times. You have to be the craziest, most deranged woman on planet Earth to say the things that this woman just said. I just can't believe they still saying Project 2025. That's defamation. In my opinion, they're defaming Trump. They're saying he's associated with a document that I don't know what's in the document, but they're saying he's associated with a document that he said he wasn't associated with. And people that wrote Project 2025 is saying he's not associated with it. And they continue to push that rhetoric on television every single day. That to me should be a crime. At some point, you can't push false propaganda to trick people. How do they have their license to broadcast on a national network when they're completely spewing complete lies? And they're saying this guy got racist tattoos. Which tattoo does he have that's a white supremacist tattoo? He showed one on his chest and it was a cross. It was like a Catholic cross. Yeah, for the Catholics in the house. It was like a Catholic cross. But somehow it became a white supremacist symbol. I just don't understand. Trump is gonna use the military against the American people. That is a flat out derogatory, fire in the freaking movie theater type of a lie. If the president was genuinely and authentically going to use the military against the people, against the Constitution of the United States of America, he is a threat to the country, and people should be eager to take chances with eliminating the possibility of him running the country. That's the way she's articulating that. And that's dangerous. And they spew it time after time after time after time after time. People have attempted on his life. They keep going time after time after time after time. I do not know how these people can still be on television and say stuff like this. And I think that the American people have woken up to this, right? The American people are done with this. They already spoke. Y'all have tried this so much. You call them all kind of names. People are not catching on to this. They don't want nothing to do with this. You guys are making these terms null and void. When everybody's a racist that you disagree with, nobody's really a racist. I'm glad that they're continuing to do this because it's just further showing their lack of reasonableness. And that's why they're losing elections. Let's go to Scott Jennings real quick. And let's play the clip of him obviously defending Pete Hegseth. We got it. I think we're still working on getting it. I think we have it in the arsenal. Oh, we have it here. Roll the clip.
Anyone have confidence in the current leadership of the Pentagon and the way the defense situation has been operating for the last several years? I mean, from the Afghanistan pullout, which was an extreme debacle for which no one was held accountable. We've had spy balloons flying over the United States. We built a $300 million pier as a public relations stunt, which wound up killing an American service member. I'd say I've had just about enough of the so-called insiders running the Defense Department. I think we ought to give Pete Hegseth a chance because he's got two
insiders.
All the criticism of him is that he's not the expected Washington pick, and I'm just saying to you that the American people just voted against the expected Washington pick. So he's got 20 years in service, Afghanistan, Iraq, 2 Bronze Stars, Princeton, Harvard. Yeah, he's on TV, but so are the rest of us.
By the way, that list you just gave,
I think he ought
that
to
list
be
that you just gave is really interesting because you highlighted a bunch of things that the civilian leadership of the country decided on. In the military, their job was just to execute. They executed.
How did it go?
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
How did it go?
In terms of the decision making, you're assigning decision making responsibility to the military over things that civilians are responsible for.
So you make a good point. The civilian leadership made decisions, and then the people they put in charge of the Pentagon carried it out. And it was all pretty much a disaster. So now we have a new president who I think got elected in part because of some of those disasters, and he's going to put in some of the non-insiders in charge of not just this agency, but a bunch of them. Now, look, they've got to perform. They've got to perform. I mean, we got 53 U.S. senators that are Republicans. And Pete Hegseth, he's an American hero. The man won 2 Bronze Stars for his service, and he's been a champion for veterans. He's going to have to go up there just like everybody else and prove his knowledge of how to do this job. He's not immune from that, but we ought to give this man a chance, in my opinion.
That's what we got to say, Nick. I don't know what else to say to this. Scott Jennings is making so much sense and make me want to cry a little bit. Give the man a chance. How do you poo-poo somebody with 20 years of experience in the military? I don't understand the logic of these people. How do you act as if a person isn't qualified when they have Bronze Star medals? Let's go over this real quick. How does a person get a Bronze Star? The United States Armed Forces decoration that recognizes heroic and meritorious service and achievements. It is the 4th highest combat award in armed forces. He's gotten 2 of them. I just don't believe that they just handing these out here like candy bars. I just don't believe that. The man got a bronze, he got 2 of them. How did he get started? If the man, on the TV the other day, one of them leftist nut jobs said he only had like 5 years of service. That's grossly inappropriate to poo-poo on this man's service. Like 20 years, Bronze Stars. He served the country honorably. Just because he got another gig on Fox News don't mean the guy don't know what he's talking about. If you ever listen to him speak, he understands what's going on. And if you ask me, the people that are doing the grunt work in the military and in the police department are the ones you ought to be listening to, not the people at the top of the food chain. Many people who are in higher positions like lieutenant, captain, chiefs, deputy chiefs, a lot of these people have drank in the Kool-Aid. And they get in these high-power positions and they don't understand the rigor of the boots on the ground. And so you get a guy who served pretty much grunt work for 20 years, honorable discharge, discharge, and then you say the man don't know nothing about military anything. I'm just shocked and appalled. Anybody with common sense know people can pat their resume. People, especially, I would argue that the military probably does this to a certain degree because I see it done in almost every aspect of life. they get a person and they deem that they want this person to be elevated. So they say, hey, go to this unit, get this middle, go to here, do this, kiss butt, do that. And eventually you got 40 years and all kind of credentials because they want to make the person of the melanin credentialed and make them look good. But that don't mean that you're serious, and that don't mean that you understand what's going on. If you are in a position of authority and power and you botch a situation that costs the lives of the American people, you're going to lose your job. I want to show y'all the tattoo because we got a comment that articulated the tattoo. I want to show y'all the tattoo of that Pete have that make people say he's a threat to the United States of America. It says the Duval tattoo, ecclesiastical Latin, God wills it, is a Christian motto relating to divine providence. I can't do it. I can't do it. This is the search that came up. That this guy Duval tattoo, if I'm saying it wrong, somebody help me phonetically. It means God wills it. It is a Christian motto related to the divine providence. And that sounds very Catholic to me. First chanted in 1096 during the First Crusade. And the man got a tattoo on his arm, and now they're saying he's a threat to democracy. He's a white supremacist. His tattoos are... All right, we'll end the show on this. These people are so insane. And I don't know how Christians support them, but people are dumb. And therefore they selectively identify things to make a person look bad because they're not on the side that they want them on. Your boy had a Watts. Thanks so much for the super chat. Watts is the one that brought it up. Your boy Tim Walz had stolen valor. And they rode his coattail and said he was a great man and shamed veterans and people who served with him for calling him out on his BS. But then they go after the good guy and say he's evil.